First down for the Bombers, just across their own 50. The blitz is on, and Eddie Ray Walker hit Hufnagel but didn't wrap him up. Hufnagel legs it out of bounds at the Saskatchewan bench. Walker wouldn't try and wrap Hufnagel up rather than just putting his shoulder into it.
Well, if he'd have grabbed for the football, he might have been going the other way.
Turns into a 1-yard gain for the Bombers. Second down and 9. Faby goes in motion, number 73. Straight drop for Hufnagel, and Gary Lewis this time makes sure, and he wraps a sack of the second half.
Both these ball clubs
are down and about 13 yards to go, so Bob Cameron is on to punt, and the Riders have 2 men back this time. Towering kick by Cameron. Derek Zeno at the 11-yard line, surrounded at the 15 and brought. But they'll be at Taylor Field in Regina Sunday, September 14th. A 1:30 start against the Saskatchewan Roughriders. First and 10, Bernard Quarles at quarterback, replacing starter Joe Paupau here in the second half. 10.5 minutes to go. Bombers lead by 11. The give is to Bobby Johnson. Darrell Patterson is there, number 76, and just no running room whatsoever for Bobby Johnson. 2 games this Sunday in the CFL. It's Hamilton at Toronto, 1:30 Eastern time. The other game is Montreal at Edmonton, a 2 o'clock start at Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton. Second down, penalty marker. Denny Ferdinand has the ball. He loses it. Who's got it? I think Ferdinand may have got it back, but it looks like Bombers may be offside. That's the early indication.
I think James Sykes jumped offside, number 58.
West, you mean?
James West. I don't think Sykes was playing defense. He's doing almost everything else, but watch West. James trying to get in there a little quick.
Bomber defense has really done the job this half. They've limited the Saskatchewan offense to just 32 yards.
And they've totally stopped their passing game,
Winnipeg,
Dale.
number 58.
5. 9:40 remains, so they've got to get it together.
Quarles on second down, in big trouble. You can credit Tracy Mack with the early pressure, then Hassan
Arbridge on the quarterback makes him stay in that pocket, and he does not make the sack, but he makes the pressure that makes Quarles get out of there.
So the Riders are punting from deep in their own end. That is Gelbaugh standing at the 1-yard line, and is he going to throw or give up a safety touch? He's going to give up a safety touch, and the Riders will have to kick it off as well as give up 2 points. So it's now a 20. The next telecast on CTV coming up Sunday, September 14th. The West Division leading BC Lions will meet the East Division leading Argonauts in Toronto. 1:30 start Eastern time. That's 10:30 a.m. Pacific time on the full CTV network.
Well, Dale, I'm still aghast at that play a moment ago. Gelbaugh not only gave up the safety, but he wasted time running back. I have to think there must have been an option involved, because he ran over and talked to Coach Goda, and they discussed it as if he had passed up a passing option.
So Ridgway kicks it off from the 35-yard line, which, of course, he puts a lot deeper than the punt would have traveled. And this is Nealis on the return, and I think that's exactly what the Riders were looking for, was to push the Bombers back on their own side of midfield with a kickoff rather than a...
Very appropriately said, Mr. McCann.
So the Bombers are first down from their own 36-yard line. Hufnagel, the draw to James Sykes. Again, Sykes has good yardage. He's out to the 43 for a pickup of 7. I want to remind Calgary fans that the University of Calgary Dinosaurs, the defending Vanier Cup champions, they'll be hosting the University of Manitoba Bisons tomorrow afternoon, 1:30 at McMahon Stadium. And, of course, the Dinosaurs got off to a good start last week with their victory over Saskatchewan, and picked by many to be the team to beat in the West again. Tomorrow, 1:30 at McMahon Stadium, Calgary against Manitoba. Second down for the Blue Bombers. Sykes again, and he's got a hole once more. Breaks a couple of tackles. He's into Saskatchewan Roughrider territory to the 51-yard line before Glenn Suter finally brings him down. Gain of 16 for Sykes.
Well, what a night he's having. Over 150 yards now, easily on the ground, but a good job again by the offensive line. of allowing him to slip to the outside. The ball is moved all the way down to the Rider 51-yard line, and time's a-wasting for the Riders.
Hufnagel puts it up. Oh, what a great catch by James Murphy. And there's a penalty flag as well. They're going to bring it back, holding against ball at their own 49. Hufnagel in a bit of trouble, flips it off to James Sykes, and he dropped it. He tried to make a move to get around the defender before he squeezed the football, and Eddie Lowe, right on top of him, helps to break up the play.
The best game he's had in at least 2 or 3 years.
3 years. Second down and 20 for Winnipeg. Four-man rush, great protection for Hufnagel. Down the middle he goes, complete to Sean Kehoe to the Rider 48-yard line, but he'll be about 7 yards short of the first down. 13-yard pickup.
Again, good time to throw the ball. Good job by Mark Moore. Mark Moore is the offensive center that time.
So what the Bombers accomplish here is get it the way their defense has been playing.
And the way this young guy has been kicking in this second half.
Nice high punt. It'll go into the end zone and probably all the way through for a single point by Bob Cameron. 68-yard single for Cameron. It is now 28-14. The Bombers lead by 2 converted touchdowns. That should be the longest kick of the year for Bob Cameron, I do believe.
Powell at quarterback.
Here's Powell back at the controls. Into the middle to Bobby Johnson. And he is brought down immediately. Darrell Patterson. James West may have got a piece of him as well.
The Riders do not have many more chances with only 5:40 remaining in this ball game.
Out of the shotgun now on 2nd and 8 from the 37-yard line. Powell down the middle for Mike McTagg, and it was underthrown. Ken Haley providing the coverage. It'll be third down. The Riders will have to punt it on the Riders. A 14-7 lead. The Bomber defense has just stopped them cold.
It seemed like ever since Ray Elgard got hit from the back and kind of had a slight injury to a leg, that the passing attack of the Riders has just not been that big a threat.
James Jefferson at the return, stepping out of bounds at the Winnipeg 51-yard line. That punt, 20 to be the Riders' punter. First down Bombers at their own 50. Hufnagel once more. Wide open, Joe Poplawski inside the 15-yard line. 48-yard gain for Joe Poplawski.
Hill, you remember when we came in here about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I believe it was a game against the Ottawa Roughriders, there were people complaining that Joe Poplawski was just not being that productive. All of a sudden he had a huge night, and ever since he's been a big factor. Almost 100 yards in receptions tonight, and Winnipeg puts this one in. This ball game will be put away for the Bombers.
Hufnagel with the straight drop. Coming inside is Murphy, and he can't squeeze the football. Mike Magruder was there to break it up. Murphy a little slow to get up the contract term, so he'll be back in Winnipeg in the next day or two. And Cal Murphy will have to decide how he's going to work these receivers now. The talk is that they'll move Tuttle inside in place of Erdman, and Murphy and Boyd would then be the wide receivers. Of course, that might mess up your ratio, imports and non-imports, but they will make the adjustment, I'm sure. On second down, Hufnagel in the middle, Poplawski, touchdown. 12-yard score, and the Bombers have put this one away.
Well, the Bombers have to be close to 500 yards in total offense, with Hufnagel well over 300 yards now throwing the ball, and Sykes over 150 yards running it.
Boy, the Bombers are so tough at home. I mean, they just seem to be a totally different football team. A little over a minute, they moved the ball 60 yards in 4 plays, and Joe Poplawski converts his own touchdown. And the Blue Bombers are out in front 35-14. The Blue Bombers at home are looking at their 5th straight victory of 1986.
Meetings with the Riders in 1986.
And Saskatchewan held a 14-7 lead in the second quarter. The Bombers took the lead before halftime, 17-14. And now Winnipeg leads it 35-14. So the Roughriders have not scored at all since early in the second quarter. The kickoff by Winnipeg to Michael Elarms at his own 18-yard line. Runs into his own man, David Conrad, and then is dropped at the 32.
Here's how tough it is to go into Taylor Field and win. You're going to be saying that about Winnipeg Stadium.
That's for sure. John Hufnagel last threw for over 300 yards against Edmonton October 18th, 1985 in a 37-18 decision. And he's over 300 again tonight. He's at 327.
You know, some days it's going for you, some days it isn't. Last week, you'll recall Cal Murphy's bomb.
Tom Mickey.
Rookie from Baylor, 6'1", 195-pounder. Very, very strong arm.
You see the spelling of it, M-U-E-C-K-E. It is pronounced Mickey. Tom Mickey out of Baylor. Jim Zorn, of course, is the number 3 quarterback tonight and not expected to see any action. Right now, it's the Riders with the football at their own 32-yard line. Pow out a shotgun. Just got the ball away and almost completed it to Bobby Johnson and Ken Haley on the...
I mean, to get to somebody and hit him. Watch him. Absolutely a fair hit. He didn't try to stick that helmet in his back. He just tried to get in there as quickly as possible. That's why he leads the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in tackles for the year. A very aggressive defensive back.
On 2nd and 10, Pow guns it to James Ellingson, and Ellingson makes the catch very close to first down yardage, and I think that is Ellingson's first catch in his CFL career.
34 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers this evening are going to move their record to 6-4 for the year, move into a second-place tie with the Edmonton Eskimos. 2 games behind the league-leading BC Lions. As Saskatchewan out of a shotgun formation, start with a first down at their own 43-yard line. Excellent catch by Alarms as he moves all the way into Winnipeg territory to the 43-yard line. Saskatchewan by no means conceding this victory. A 21-yard gain. Joe Pow remaining at quarterback. He was replaced a little earlier by Bernard Quarles. And the Riders will once again come from a shotgun formation. Mike McTagg this time on the right side of the Winnipeg defensive group, and it's very close to another first down for Saskatchewan as they pick up their second consecutive first down, or appear to have. Frank Moores and Zorn, as you know, has only been in town for a couple of days. We were told by Cal Murphy that he knows about 10 plays that he's really comfortable with. In a pinch, he could go into the ball game, but they had no intention of using him unless the other 2 quarterbacks did go down.
Thanks, Riggs. I'm back, and here's Pow to the shotgun going deep for Mike McTagg. And again, coverage is there by Ken Haley. McTagg having to reach back for it. So it'll be 2nd down and 10 from the Bomber 37-yard line. 2:15 remaining in the football game. As you take another look at that pass.
I was having a lot of fun there, Dale. I was going to take your job for good.
Delbert Fowler is the injured Blue Bomber on the play. 35-14 for the Blue Bombers. And they'll be going to Calgary next Thursday. Last year, these same two clubs hooked up in a good one at Taylor Field on Labor Day. The Bombers winning by 8, and then it was another blowout here in Winnipeg, 49-3 for the Bombers. The Riders, of course, have not won here since 1981, and they won't win here tonight. Here's Pau going down. James West getting to him, and there is a penalty flag down holding against Saskatchewan anyway.
I'll tell you one reason that James West made that sack and didn't go just flying by Joe Papa, and that's because he's so doggone strong. He's got huge upper body strength.
Declined, third down.
And he just got a piece of Joe Papa's jersey and was able to pull him down on the way by.
Third and 21 as the Bombers take the sack and decline the penalty.
Watch West as he's going by. Just one little grip actually on his hip. Just spun him around, threw him down.
Look out, Tracy Mack.
Joe took quite a blow in the back of the head. And the young linebacker who's been so aggressive in his initial start with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Well, the Bombers here at home, they get you down. They show no mercy. The Bombers will take over, and Tom Mickey, the rookie quarterback, will see his first action. He was actually injured in training camp, and the Bombers had Homer Jordan as their third quarterback, and they released Jordan last week and put Mickey on the roster for the Labor Day weekend game in Regina. And of course, with the injury to Tom Clements, everybody moves up a notch. And Mickey, in his first play from scrimmage, hands off to James Sykes to the 45-yard line, and a pickup of about 5 yards on the play. Tom Mickey, the rookie out of Baylor.
Just a great job, Dale, I want to say, for John Hufnagel in the start tonight under pretty tough conditions, because he knew he really didn't have any experience at all backing him up. An excellent job by the Winnipeg offensive line of giving him time to throw the football.
Mickey with the rollout action and hits Joe Poplawski for a big gain to the 30-yard line, where Trent Bryant finally brings him down, a pickup of 15 yards, and the young quarterback put a lot of zip on that football. A lot of people wondering what the Bombers would be like without Clements, without Willard Reeves. Hufnagel's come in, done a super job. Sykes has had a great night.
Well, if anybody's had to deal with adversity, losing their stars offensively, it's certainly been Winnipeg.
First down from the 30-yard line. Sykes again. Spinning off a tackle, gets inside the 25, down to about the 23-yard line.
Sykes now unofficially has over 174 yards, is it now, Bob? 171. Well, it's a bunch. We know that for sure.
And ripping up the Saskatchewan defense tonight. Second down and 3. Mickey put it up. Looking for Jerome Erdman. Just tipped away by Trent Bryant at the last second.
So well, there's a young man that's going to be happy when this ball game is over. Young Trent Bryant, they have picked on him all night long.
Actually, Trent Bryant is 27 years of age in his first year in the CFL, but he has pro experience in the U.S. Football League. He's actually been in pro football 4 years now.
Interesting here as Joe Poplawski is going to try another field goal.
A 30-yarder.
Getting a little practice.
Bob Cameron, the holder. That's the kick by Poplawski. And this time it is good. 38-14. The Bombers over Saskatchewan. 36. So the Riders out over the football at their own 35. And Pau stays in there as the quarterback. Throws to Zeno. giving him lots of room. Pushed out of bounds by James Jefferson. First down out at the 48. A pickup of 13 yards. Pop out of Johnson. Slips one tackle. Spun around and brought down by Darrell Patterson at the Bomber 50-yard line. It's all very nice, but a little too little too late.
Just 23 seconds showing on the clock now.
Well, after that touchdown by Ferdinand, the Roughriders really didn't do a thing. That Bomber defense just shut them down totally.
Well, you know, they got a couple of turnovers very early in this ball game. This might have been really a disastrous night for them.
That was Elarms making the catch at the Bomber 41-yard line. Gain of 9 on the play. Second down and 1 with 12 seconds left. And the Winnipeg Blue Bombers will be in Calgary next Thursday, September the 11th. Saskatchewan's next home game against Hamilton on Sunday, September the 14th. And with the victory tonight, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers will improve their record to 6-4 and tied with the Edmonton Eskimos for second place. The Eskimos will play at home this Sunday against Montreal. Pau going deep. Zeno going high in the air, and Roy Bennett was up there as well to knock it away.
A blustery, cool evening here in Winnipeg for early September. Feels a little bit more like early November.
This stat just handed to me. Sykes' rushing total tonight officially is 174 yards. It's the 6th best performance in Bomber history.
And I'll bet you an old buddy of mine, Leo Lewis, had a couple of those were a little better. Yes, sir. One for 178, one for 179. But Willard Reeves had 2 nights over 220. One 220 and one 221.
Pau airing it out again on third down, trying to go to Michael Elarms and Roy Bennett as the defensive backs were playing way back there. And with 1 second left, the ball will go over to the Blue Bombers. He had a quick shot at head coach Jack Goda. Came in here with high hopes tonight after the way they came back and won last Sunday over Winnipeg. But the Bombers at home are something else.
Just 1 second on the clock now, so the Bombers offensive team will have to go out once more and just kill off this last moment. And a warm round of appreciation for this Bomber team from the fans that are still here.
All right, we'll get a look at Jim Zorn now. He'll be taking part in his very first CFL game. After 10 years in the National Football League, he hands off to James Sykes, who rips off another 15-yard gain. He's going to end up
about
with
17 yards, so that makes it 191 for the night.
Gary Moten made the stop, and Jack Goda will cross the field to shake hands with Cal Murphy as the gun sounds to end this football game. And the Winnipeg Blue Bombers have wiped out the Saskatchewan Roughriders 38-14. You look again at the last run by James Sykes, and what a night for him.
Jim Zorn says, this is an easy game. I like this Canadian game. 38-14 as Winnipeg really destroys the Riders. Al McCann's going to have head coach Cal Murphy, and I'm sure a very happy one. As we look statistically, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers over 500 yards of total offense. Let's go down to Alan Murphy.
Well, okay, Frank, I've got Coach Cal Murphy with me. Cal, congratulations on a very impressive win, particularly an impressive second half.
Yeah, I think, you know, we had some close ones in the first half. We played pretty darn good football, and, you know, but they're a pretty good football team as well. And I think when we came out in the third quarter, we put together a very good drive, and it kind of gave us some tempo. The other thing is our defense shut down the running game.
And John Hufnagel, you know, coming in under a lot of pressure. He's been a relief man for you, really coming out of the bullpen. What a starter he turned out to be. He called a nice game, mixed his running plays well.
Well, I feel good about it because that's why he's here and that's why he has been here, because he is a darn good football player and a real competitor. And, you know, he's had a lot of pressure on him this week, and I feel really good for him.
It's a long time, Cal, since we've seen James Sykes have such a big evening. Do you know he got over 190 yards rushing?
You're kidding. It reminds me of how he's gotten better every game out as he's played, you know. And I think tonight he started to look like the James Sykes that he was in training camp. And I think that layoff, you know, between training camp and before he had to play, I think it hurt him a little bit.
You know, your defensive team, the offense getting a lot of accolades. The defense played awfully well. They shut Saskatchewan down completely in the second half. They got a lot of heat on the quarterback. Used the defensive back blitz a few times. Haley did a masterful job.
Yeah, that's one thing we did do this time. We got a lot of heat on him. Last week we didn't get any heat on. The other thing, I think we started coming up in front of his face, which we didn't do on the weekend. And I think that helped us out a lot. And then I think our secondary played pretty darn well as well.
You made a lot of news this week, and you got, I was glad to see you got Tom Mickey and Jim Zorn into the ballgame. Jim only got 1 second, mind you.
That's right. It was really funny because I said, we get the ball back with 31 seconds. When we get the ball back, you're going in. And, you know, he kind of looked at me, and he says, I'm going. And so with 1 second to go, they said, hey, Zorn, you might get a chance yet. So he got it.
Jeff Boyd is in town. You've signed him again, Cal. The way your receivers are operating, Jeff's going to have trouble getting in your lineup.
Well, it's a nice problem, isn't it?
It is a good problem. Congratulations, Cal. Good win.
Okay, thanks a lot.
We're going to be back with the players of the game in just a moment. This is Friday Night Football on CTV.
And now, the Carling O'Keefe Sports offensive and defensive game stars as selected by our broadcast crew. From the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, running back James Sykes with 190 yards rushing, the offensive star. And also from the Bombers, defensive halfback Ken Haley, who made big plays all over the field, the defensive star. Each of today's stars receive a Royal Canadian Mint 1-ounce solid gold coin, presented by Nikon. For once-in-a-lifetime shots, the Nikon One Touch, the simplest Nikon 35mm ever. And by Tilly, bringing together quality and creativity in all their products, from their line of personal leather goods through to their travel wear. This is CTV's Friday Night Football.
With the offensive star of the game, James Sykes, who had a tremendous evening. James, 190 yards unofficially rushing. It's a while since you've had that many yards in one game. Let's go back 3-4 years.
Oh, I go back at least 4 years. I think the last game I played, I rushed for 150 yards, and I hadn't ran the ball since. And I'm pretty pleased with my outcome. And the offensive line just really blocked super, and they was just asking to run the ball, because they was ready to block. Everything worked out.
You guys had a good offensive game plan because I thought Hufnagel mixed the passing and running game very, very well, kept Saskatchewan off balance all night.
Yeah, that's something that he did tonight different than he did last week, and he said that we would go with the game plan this week. We was behind. We got behind last week in the third quarter, and got away from the game plan. But this week we stuck with our game plan throughout the game.
You got to feel good about what happened tonight, James, and yet a little frustrated about the way the season's gone for you guys. You've had your good ones and then your not so good ones.
Yeah, we had kind of a seesaw-type season so far. I think 4 games is probably more than we lost in the last 3 years I've been here, and we're just going to have to get things together and play 60 minutes of football every time out.
Did the cold weather bother you at all? Of course, you're used to it. Now, you've played up here a long time.
No, cold weather don't bother me at all. I really like the cold weather, really.
It must make you feel good, though, to get a good offensive performance yourself and see the whole team play so well.
Yeah, it made me feel real good, as far as the team-wise, because we needed this as a team, and it really, really fit in well tonight.
James, congratulations. Let's move over to defense now. The guy who had a heck of a game, Ken Haley, playing that defensive back position. I saw you come with a couple of defensive back blitzes. Near the end of the game, you really got in there and nailed it.
Yeah, I got there too late, though. He got the ball off, but I wish I was there a second sooner, and I had the sack.
Ken, the defensive plan seemed to work awfully well. I don't know, did you make any adjustments? Because in the second half, you shut them down totally.
Not really. We just played aggressive ball and flew to the ball, and we didn't give it the big plays like we gave the last game. So with the defense playing the way that we can, I don't think there's anyone that can stop us.
Yeah, your front was getting good pressure. Your linebackers were helping out, and you guys were sliding off and stopping their passing game. You took away their wideouts completely.
Right. We have some great corners out there, and they did their job, and the line got in there, so quarterback can't get the ball off if he's got people in his face.
Well, you're in pretty good shape again, you Bombers. You're back in the thick of the battle for second place right now. Isn't this a wild Western League?
It definitely is. It's very competitive, and that's what makes football.
Ken, congratulations on an outstanding game. Best luck rest of the season, and thanks for staying around.
Okay, thank you.
Kenny Haley and also James Sykes, our stars of the game. Let's go upstairs.
Okay, Al, thank you very much. The Saskatchewan Roughriders, Frank, had a 14-7 lead in the second quarter. Then the Bombers scored 31 straight points to put them away again here in Winnipeg.
Well, if there was any surprise tonight as far as us viewing the football game, I think it was the offensive performance of the Bombers. Defensively, we know they have an excellent team, but they just came up with outstanding plays all night long. This was an early touchdown in the third quarter by Murphy, 24 yards, and put the Bombers ahead 24-14. A very impressive drive to start the third quarter out with. And this great interception by Roy Bennett.
Watch this one-handed play. I mean, Elarms is in behind him. Bennett just cuts across, one-hands it, makes the interception, and kills a potential drive for Saskatchewan.
And Dale, if there was one further key play in this second half, I think it was this one when Saskatchewan gambled on 3rd and 2, and certainly I thought the odds were with them gambling at this point in time. The call was a good one, but Winnipeg defensively were ready for them. It was still only 25-14 when Winnipeg caused that turnover. Now you're going to see Joe Poplawski at his best, and a great example of how Huffnagel threw the ball all night long. Joe Pop had close to 100 yards in receptions again. Over 500 yards of total offense tonight by the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. And without Willard Reeves and without Tom Clements, I think that was a surprise, if anything at all, here this evening.
And the Bombers go on to beat the Saskatchewan Roughriders. The final score, 38-14. The Bombers now with a record of 6 wins and 4 losses, tied with Edmonton for second.